Hello, third graders. Today we are continuing the IFL unit of When Disaster Strikes. And at this point, we have already read a couple of different texts and we've already completed a couple of tasks. So today we're going to be working on task 2.2 and we are going to be practicing drawing conclusions today. And this is based off this text that we have already read. So first of all, what does it mean to draw conclusions? When you draw conclusions, first, I suggest that you review the characters within the story, the setting of the story, and the plot. Characters, who or what are in the story, the setting where the story takes place, and your plot, you have your conflict and your resolution. Second, I would say look for any facts or details that are not stated but can be inferred. And remember, we have talked about making inferences all throughout the school year. Making inferences is something that you do daily. You are making a smart guess based off of the information that is given to you, but yet maybe it's not stated directly. So you're going to be looking for those facts and those details that are not stated but can be inferred. Third, we are going to analyze that information and we're going to decide on our next step. Based off of the information that they've given us, what do we think or what can we infer will happen next? And last, we are going to come up with our conclusion based on the situation. So we are going to be drawing conclusions off of the text that we have already read. So right now, I want you to think about what are your conclusions about man-made disasters based on the two texts that you have already read. You have already read the Boston Molasses Flood of 1919, and you've also read the Peshtigo Fire of 1871. I want you to think about what are the conclusions that you can draw off of man-made disasters based on these two texts. So pause the video for a few minutes and maybe make yourself a chart and jot down at least maybe 2 to 3 different conclusions that you can draw based off of these two texts. And then come back when you are ready. Okay, so I have made a list of my conclusions based off of these two texts. So did we have some of the same conclusions? I'm sure that we did, and if we didn't, that's okay. I didn't list every conclusion possible on my list, but I guarantee that we have some that are very similar. So let's look at the first one that I have listed here. A man-made disaster may be a result of a human's need to make and sell goods. Okay? Sometimes it has something to do with the needs of humans to make and sell goods. Think about the molasses flood. That was a result of humans needing to make the bombs from the molasses. And so we were storing that molasses in the tanks. The second one. Man-made disasters may be prevented if people speak up when they see a problem. And I'm thinking about the people of Boston that saw that tank was leaking out the molasses. And they heard the noises that tank was making. But yet they were afraid that people weren't going to listen to them because they were poor immigrants and they were afraid that they would not be heard. Man-made disasters may be prevented if we speak up when we see a problem. Third, man-made disasters can destroy the lives of many people. Just as a natural disaster, a man-made disaster can destroy the lives of many people. We know that people have lost their lives due to man-made disasters, and we also know that people have had to rebuild their homes and their cities and much more. The fourth one, man-made disasters happen when people are not careful doing their jobs. I'm thinking about that tank again in Boston with the molasses and how they hastily put together the tank. Hastily meaning they did it in a quick hurry without enough effort, and then we know what happened to the tank over time. So those people were not careful, and they did not put enough effort and time into doing their job correctly, and it caused a horrible disaster. Okay, so I want you to make sure that you have created a chart on your conclusions, drawing the conclusions of these two different texts, and tomorrow we will build upon this. Okay, have a great day, third graders.